The Kaalkot excavation site was supposed to be a significant archaeological find. Instead, heavy machinery was pulling up endless piles of human skeletons. Just bone. For the lead archaeologist, Mayuri, this failure was intensely personal. Her daughter, Sakshi, was battling cancer, and the hospital bills were piling up fast. The doctors were demanding immediate payment to continue the life-saving treatment, leaving Mayuri with no options. Then, late one night while drafting reports near the edge of the pit, she spots something catching the light. Hidden beneath a heavy rock, she uncovers two pure, ancient gold coins. She pulls out her radio to alert the team, but stops. She slips the gold into her pocket. The very next day, Mayuri shuts down the Kaalkot project, citing the lack of historical findings. She secretly sells the two coins on the black market and uses every single rupee to fund her daughter's surgery. The operation is a total success. If the story ended right there, it would be a closed, triumphant trade. A desperate mother sacrifices her professional integrity and breaks the law to buy her child's life in return. But the memory of the gold lingered long after the emergency passed. Weeks later, armed with heavy tools, Mayuri drives back to the abandoned excavation site in the dead of night. Fulfilling her medical need did not extinguish her desire for wealth. She crossed the threshold from necessity into pure, unchecked greed. She breaches the deepest layer of the pit, prying open a heavy wooden barrier. Her flashlight cuts through the darkness, revealing an underground chamber overflowing with ancient wealth, swords, jewelry, and piles of gleaming coins. Amidst all this scattered fortune, there is only one anomaly. Right in the center of the room sits a broken, completely empty tomb. By returning for the excess, Mayuri unknowingly activated a trap. In Kaalkot, the gold functions as lethal bait for a supernatural exchange. The next morning, Mayuri finds a black necrotic mark on her neck. It looks like rotting flesh, and over the coming days, it begins to aggressively spread across her skin. Deep inside the Kaalkot chamber, the original occupant of that empty tomb is stirring. Its body is heavily decayed, but slowly patches of fresh, healthy skin are starting to form on its neck and face, in the exact places where Mayuri's skin is dying. This diagram illustrates a supernatural zero-sum game. When an increase in gold assets registers on one side, it triggers an immediate extraction of living human tissue on the other. For every ounce of gold taken, an equivalent portion of humanity is transferred. The wealth of Kaalkot functions like a predatory loan. You can take whatever you want, but the inescapable collateral is your own body. Mayuri's condition deteriorates rapidly. The necrosis consumes her face and arms, mirroring the entity's original decayed form so closely that she has to wrap herself in a scarf just to walk outside. Panicked, she turns to the only solution she knows: money. She meets with a specialist and eagerly agrees to hand over 10 lakh rupees to fund an extensive corrective plastic surgery procedure. Here is the bitter irony of her situation. Mayuri still believes her stolen wealth gives her leverage. She assumes she can buy her way out of the consequences. She views herself as a wealthy consumer purchasing a medical cure, oblivious to the fact that she is bound by a much older contract. Unchecked greed creates a powerful illusion. It convinces its victims that they are the masters of their capital, right up until the moment they realize they are the product being consumed. Mayuri isn't the only one who let the secret slip. Her former supervisor, having deduced the location of the gold, descends into the Kaalkot pit. He frantically begins stuffing ancient jewelry into his bag. At the exact same time, Mayuri lies under the bright lights of an operating room. The anesthesia is setting in, and she closes her eyes, believing she is moments away from getting her life back. But as the procedure begins, the figure holding the scalpel isn't human. It's the shape-shifting entity from the cave, and it has come to finish the transaction. The entity uses the surgery to perform a final biological audit, methodically extracting the last of Mayuri's healthy skin to graft onto itself. The debt is called in. The entity successfully forecloses on its victim, entirely stripping Mayuri of her physical identity to wear as its own. Back in the underground chamber, the supervisor tries to leave with his stolen loot, but an invisible force slams him against the rock wall. Stepping out of the shadows is the entity. now wearing Mayuri's face perfectly, smiling as it chokes the life out of him. This ancient economy is governed by a single, ruthless law. Whoever steals Kaalkot's wealth, their identity is taken. The entity weaponized the gold, leaving it exposed as a self-replenishing lure to harvest fresh bodies. Mayuri compromised her morals to save her daughter from a terrible illness, but her inability to walk away from the excess guaranteed a far worse outcome. The illness is gone, but the person walking through the front door to raise that child is a monster wearing a mother's face.